Welcome to another session of Styles and Smiles. And today we have Steve Moran on here. And usually he's always playing with other bands all over the country. Well, today he brought his own band. Steve Moran, take it away. That was Andy's polka, right?
It was Andy's polka.
So, explain all those people you have playing with you. What's the first thing on your...
Well, I got a pedal here in the front, and that pedal is just basically used for stopping and starting. Stops and starts the drums.
Okay.
This pedal here allows me to put MIDI sounds into what I'm already playing on a concertina. The way I have it set up is just set for organ. So now, if I play a couple notes here, that's just a concertina sound. And if I add, and I can bring it back out again.
My question would be, how much do they charge to play with you? Or you don't have to pay them?
Well, the good thing is they don't get drunk, and they'll play every single tune, and they'll stop and start when you want them to start.
Yeah.
Stop. So
And no complaining?
no complaining at all.
Just step on them.
Yep. And if I don't want them to play, I just quit it.
So what are the other pedals over there for?
Okay. Well, I got two other pedals because I have a different unit, and I'll just explain that, and I'll do that.
Please. So they know what
Sure.
you're doing.
Okay, now I'll hook up this other unit. Well, I can do it without hooking it up. This other pedal here is a stop and start too. That's set with this unit. I just have it set for waltzes right now.
Okay.
It might be a little slow for that, but it's okay. And that's all it is, stop and start.
Just stop.
Hit
Okay.
it. Okay. Then on the right-hand side is the volume pedal. So if I'm playing too loud, I bring it back down.
Okay.
So I can cut the drummer out there too. Then I also have, I could do the, let's see. That is the right hand sound. which is kind of a piano sound, kind of a string sound with that too. And if I, that starts the drums and the bass. I moved this a little too far. Okay, and then I have another pedal. And let me unplug this one here. All of my music, technically, is on this iPad, which looks like this. And if you can see
Show
it,
it to the camera, yes.
that camera?
I think so.
If you can see it,
Make that
that
on.
is,
Is that in the way?
it's okay? He's got it. Okay. So, the music is there, and the way the music is written, you gotta change pages. So, I got another pedal here. Now that's the second page. I gotta go back, there's the first page. So I can go back and forth. But then again, if you don't use music, you don't need it. A lot of songs at this point, I don't need necessarily again, but it's still kind of nice to have it when you start out, just to remember where you're at. And that's about it.
So, being I've known you for a few decades, isn't that lots easier to carry that around instead of those big satchels?
Oh, it's definitely
full
easier.
of music?
A drawback is if you're playing out in the sun, that's not so good because they get overheated and all of a sudden it doesn't work.
And then you try following the wrong notes.
Yeah. And then the flies go in there, you're trying to follow a fly, it keeps moving around.
Yeah.
But if you're inside, it works just great.
So, what do you want to
Oh,
grace the audience with next?
we did polkas, let's do a waltz, so I can use this unit here. How about Getsburger Waltz?
So, when you say, let's do a waltz,
play
you're
along.
talking to your machines instead of, I'm going to do a waltz.
Oh, I'm gonna do a waltz, okay, here we go.
Just getting technicals.
Yeah.
And the name is?
This is called the Getsburger Waltz. And I'm gonna just change the tempo just a little bit here. I think that'll probably do it. And I maybe probably volume down. Once I get started, we'll find out.
Before you get started, is
Yes.
there a history behind the name of that waltz? Did a Getsburger write it around here? Was it
I
dedicated to
don't
him?
know where the name came from. I kind of just liked the sound of the song. And you know, I heard a song, it was yesterday, and it was Elmer Shai was playing this song. I'm sure he must have recorded it.
Okay.
So that's where some of the people get into doing it.
See,
They-
this
it's a
area is
Elmer
kind
Shai
of filled
tune.
with Getsburgers. You'd think maybe somebody,
You would think that would be an important thing for them, yeah.
well, let's
And-
hear it.
All right.
Take your time, I'm gonna.
And if you decide you're gonna play it, if you like it, you could play it, we're in G. Here we go.
Getsburger Waltz by Steve Moran.
Yeah,
You mentioned that Elmer Scheid had recorded that. So that must have been the early 60s. I'm just trying to piece things together.
I'm not sure when he recorded, but
Because by the time I started playing with Slim Kultz, another local orchestra, he always played that number.
he did.
And one of the numbers, he liked it. Al Kopetsky, he was a band member. Me, I didn't like it. I never cared for that song.
You did.
You play it correctly. See, I probably never did that. That's the problem.
Oh, but you were just playing by ear. You weren't looking at a
Yeah,
sheet.
yeah. Learned a lot of tunes like that.
Yeah.
But such is history. So anything more you want to, let's see. You said you obtained this concertina here, an A flat, from another local musician, Don Klossner.
Yes, Don Klossner. And I just saw something on New Cat on Saturday, and Donnie Klossner was playing on this box. It was a bandwagon show, and he was playing music with mit Herz, music with heart. It was just him. And this is the
Yeah.
box he was playing, that A-flat box.
Interesting. So going back to also bandwagon or whatever. Before I joined Slim Kultz band, so it must have been Chuck Pasek in the mid-60s, Harold Laffmacher would take all the young aspiring, quote, supposedly aspiring concertina players
Yep.
to the TV show. And then at the final scene, the camera would be passing all the concertina players. And here was a guy that never played concertina. He just wanted to get in on the show. I think, I forgot his last name, some Stumpfbauer or something like that. And there he was standing with the concertina. Well, the audience didn't know any difference, but
Yeah.
that was stuff that was pulled off back then.
Well, now that you're talking about that, I played a parade with the Windiger Band one time down in Iowa, and we didn't have a piano player. And there was just, one of the guys was along, I think it was Gary Gleisner's son was along, and we stuck him in front of that piano. We didn't plug it in, and he was just like this all the time through the parade.
And you still got paid
And
for
we
the
still got
parade.
paid, yeah.
Well, that's fine. And you didn't have to pay him.
No, didn't have to pay him a bit.
Yeah. So, anything else, anything that you didn't use yet here?
Well, let's use this box then.
Yeah.
And I'll play a waltz again. I'll play the old man's waltz.
Is that for me?
No, it could be for you. Actually, at this point of the game, it could be for me too.
No, you can play it for me because
Oh, I can play it for you.
two
Because you're,
2 days ago I turned 75 for my
yeah.
birthday, so.
I know it. And I wonder how many people actually remember that you had a birthday.
The less the better. Oh, but my mother didn't forget.
You, she's
I'll
90,
99.
Ni-
I'll give you a little story on this.
yeah.
Probably many of you don't know my mother, Adeline. Since I was born on February 22nd, that was George Washington's birthday. He chopped down a cherry tree, and cherry pies are always big on February 22nd. So she baked me a cherry pie from 1958, when I was 10, to about 1995. I never figured out how many years that was. But then all of a sudden, she gave me a can of canned cherries, and she said, "Here, you bake your own pie." So that was the end of that. But after this session is over, I'm going over there to eat a cherry pie with her.
All right.
Yes. Okay, I interrupted you.
It's okay. This is called The Old Man's Waltz. I'll play it on this A-flat concertina. And the song is written in the key of D, so that means that it'd be, let's see, B flat, I would think.
Will you be playing any portion?
I'm gonna be a D fingering, and then it's gonna sound a third lower, which should be B flat.
Oh, so I can follow
I
along?
think you could, if you
We'll
wanted.
see about that. I'll give it a try, go ahead.
Okay.
I was just getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
Boy, that's some tough
I was gonna
fingering.
tell you what key it was, and he'll find it.
I did, way at the end. Did you record that with the mainstay band that you're with is the Weniger Brothers, right?
We did record it.
Okay.
They played it on their D-flat concertina. So, or Christy liked to call it the C-sharp concertina.
D flat.
D-flat. So instead of being in the key of D as it's written, it was in the key of E-flat, which is a nice key for the horns.
For the brass.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, D flat. Well, what fingering was that then to play?
You play it just like a C box.
C box, okay.
All the concertinas, you play it just like a C box, and it's the concertina transposes it to a different key. So instead of when you play the note C, the concertina is making the C sharp note.
I'm lost.
Well,
So I noticed you went to E flat,
yeah,
and I forgot where E flat was.
you
on
were
it.
right. That was the E flat. That was in that last part. Yeah, sure,
I caught on to that.
you did.
So you did a lot of writing for the Wenigers, right? And
Yes.
for other bands?
Mostly them.
Do you write them? How can I say that? See, I wouldn't know how that works if you want to play in E flat. What notes do you write down first?
Okay, the best way to do it is you write everything for a C concertina. And if you want to play in a certain key, you tell them this is the concertina you need to use to play it in that key. For instance, it took us a while to figure out what song could we play in using a D-flat concertina. Okay, so a B-flat is kind of a nice, or even a A-flat a song in the key of A-flat. That's a really nice laying horn song for a horn. On a concertina, if you use the C-sharp D-flat concertina, you play G fingering, and you're playing that in that key.
That's cheating.
No, that's cheating, but that's the way it goes.
So I gotta stop you here.
Yeah.
Where did you learn all that? It just didn't come out of the tin air into your head.
Well, I didn't know it right away. Actually, when I first started playing with those guys, they played the whole night, and I played about 4 songs. It's the only songs that I knew I'd ever heard before.
Now, you were playing bass.
I was playing tuba, yeah.
Tuba, I heard that. Make sure you tell them that, because
Yeah, I was playing tuba, and then they had a trumpet player, and he always told me the keys, except it wasn't the key that the song was in. He was telling me the wrong keys.
Extra, or didn't he know
Well,
any?
he might have done on purpose.
Was that
Finally,
clear?
when they had something written, I looked at his music, and I thought, oh, they're in this key. And I knew right away.
Was that by any chance Clarence Prowl?
Clarence didn't do it. It was his buddy, Bob Riem. They both played with Fez.
Yeah. So anyway, tell him what some musicians said, like behind your back. You think they're going to hire him again, or how did that go?
Oh, Clancy come up with that. Well, actually, I didn't. I know it was really shaky after that first job. He'll never call me again. That's never going to happen.
How old were you? I want to get that
Well,
in.
I was 23, 4, something like that,
Okay,
probably.
pretty well on your way with music.
Yeah. It was, let's see, it was in 76, so I would have been 25.
Okay.
And I never heard any of those songs. I never even heard of Concertina before. I always played with accordions. So anyway,
Oh my.
I thought he's never going to call me again. He gave me a bunch of records to listen to, and I did. I listened to everything. And then your uncle, Clancy Prowl, he said to Pete, he said, "You're not going to hire that guy again, are you?" And Pete said, "I think so." Well, he did. And then, but next time we played the first tune, and he said, "Is that the same guy you had playing a couple weeks ago?" That
Good
was me.
learning experience, I'm sure. You know, being that you never heard of a concertina, in 2 weeks you were playing with one.
Yeah. I'm just kind of fooling around. I could pick up a concertina and I could play chords. I couldn't play melodies. I didn't know how to do that until I started doing that.
We had a guy on a while ago. His last name was Moran also. Not also, Moran.
Yep,
That's your relation, isn't it?
that's my son, Tom.
Tom.
He's an awesome player. And
I've heard him.
He says I helped him a lot. Well, I helped on different things, but he did that on his own. He learned how to play concertina, and he could play runs and stuff. When he was like 10 years old, he could play that stuff.
Fascinating.
Yep.
I had a guy on here a while back too, Dave Cranberry, I think. And he can play the scales both right and left hand. And I've tried doing that for 60 years and I can't do it, and he just whips them right off.
Yeah, sure.
Good player too, very good player. So,
Well,
let's see what you have here.
I did some waltzes and polkas, and how about
Oh, do that.
Spanish Eyes?
Yes,
Okay. Let's see.
Spanish Eyes.
I'll do it on
Boy,
this
that
one.
would be tough on a electronic thing, you know.
Yeah, I
That-
could
that
do it on
timing
there.
and space is
Here, I just, this song, I don't use the rhythm. I just use the concertina. I'll give a little MIDI here. That should do it.
I don't know.
When I did it before, I was using this box, so when you play different key boxes, it throws the pitch off a little bit.
Oh,
You play a certain fingering, that doesn't sound like the right note, but it's the right fingering, so just go with it.
see, that's where I have a big problem with this box. Bought in 1960, and you push on those buttons, you're used to hearing that certain pitch. I mean, you can pick it. Then you pick up a different key, concertina, and you go, what's wrong with this? Nothing. It's just what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
So how you can keep your mind straight, you guys, I don't know.
Well, I'm working on it.
See, seeing you have this Minnesota shirt on, did you
Yes.
go to University of Minnesota too,
I
music?
did. I went to University of Minnesota, and I
Year?
was a music major to be a band director. And when I was there, I played in the top concert band ensemble when I was there. I was working on a performance degree on bass trombone, which I never completed because I got a teaching job. So
Oh,
that's what I went to school for. So that's what I did, and I never went back to complete that performance degree.
what years was that?
I went from 69 to 73. I graduated in 73.
73, isn't that the year? No, when did you join Winningers?
76.
Oh, it was after that, oh. So anything else?
Well,
Let's see, oh, I think we got about 5 minutes. Yeah,
okay. Well, I'd either like to do Grandmother's Joy or I'd like to do Concertina Holiday, either one.
you do Concertina Holidays, because I
Okay.
never heard you do that. Unless you don't want to.
No, that's fine, I'll do it. And sometimes I don't need the music, but just for the heck of it, I will get it up.
So I'll mention once again, this is Steve Moran, a local musician. In case we get cut off in this last number, you don't know what might happen. But thank you for coming, Steve.
Thanks for asking, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all. Let's see, I got
Neither
that.
was I.
was
I mean, all this stuff here, for you to put that together on a day's notice, oh,
Yeah, I needed a little time to do that.
yeah.
Okay, so this is Concertina Holiday, and it's written by, I think it was written by Ray Dorschner. Wait a minute, I didn't hear the drums.
for putting up with Mike on the bass, John on the drums. What else is there?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, whoever you all drug along here.
I had an organ along in there too, so.
That's why I said John on the drums, get it? Oh, wait, he's no longer with you.
No,
That's what I meant saying, Mike on the bass. That was half right.
Mike on the bass, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, folks.